Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to be looking a bit more deeper into the Dutch algorithm. Now, I'm assuming that a lot of you have been raised up on the traditional algorithm, which can get a little messy, especially when you are on a time constraint for a math test or exam, and the pressures and the stakes are high, so you can get lost in the calculations. So I just wanted to make this video to share a simpler, more efficient, and easier way of doing division. And I really don't know why uh, we weren't taught the Dutch algorithm at a young age from the get-go, instead of going through this messy version of division that it just takes up way too much time when there are simpler methods like the Dutch algorithm. So without further ado, let's go straight into the Dutch algorithm. So now, let's say I have a question where I have 48 here, 48 divided by 6, okay? So really the Dutch algorithm, and 6 right there. So really the Dutch algorithm is two things that we need to focus on. Repeated subtracting, and multiplication. So this section over here is going to be where your repeated subtraction will be. And this section past this column will be where you keep track of your multiplications. So let's start. How many times does 6 go into 48? Well, I don't know. So, but I do know that 36 can definitely go into 48, right? And I know 6 times 6 is 36 because that's just something I remember from when I was a kid. So 36. But remember, we got to keep track of our multiplication. So 6 times 6 is 36. Okay, now this is where I have to subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. And 4 minus 3 is 1. And so I have a total of 12 now. Now I know that 6 goes into 12 two times. So remember, I got to keep track of my multiplication. And 12. Here, 6 goes into 12 two times, and that's going to be 0. So now I just have to total everything. So 6 plus 2 is 8. And there you have it. 48 divided by 6 is 8. Now, let's do a different question. We'll do a bit more, something that's a little bit more tricky. Let's do 27 divided by 4. Now, I'm going to create a scenario here. Let's say I am not good at multiplication, right? I don't know what 4 times 5 is, or it's just too hard for me, right? And I don't know how many times 4 goes into 27. Well, that's fine. The great thing about the Dutch algorithm is that we can put in numbers as small as we want. So let's say I do know what 4 times 2 is, right? 4 times 2 is 8, right? So I'm going to put a 2 over here just to keep track of my multiplication. 4 times 2 is 8. And I'm going to slowly subtract 27. So I'm going to start with 8. So I know 7 minus 8. Well, I can't do that. So I do 17 minus 8. Put the 1 there. And then I put a 9 here because 17 minus 8 is 9. And then I know, well, there's a 1 here. Okay, perfect. So now I do 2. So I kept track of my 2. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do 2 again because I'm not good at multiplication. So I do 2. So 4. 4 times 2 is 8 again. I know that 9 minus 8 is 1, and I know 1 minus 0 is 1. And now I know that 4 times 2 is 8, right? Because that's all what we've been doing for the whole time, because we're not that good at multiplication, and this is just an easier way of doing it for me. 4 times 2 is 8. I'm going to put the 8 here again. And I'm going to subtract. Well, I know that 11 minus 8 is 3. Perfect. And how many times does 4 go into 3? Well, it can't, right? Because 4 is bigger than 3. So I'm going to now subtotal all my multiplication over here. So I know 6. And I have a remainder of 3 over 4. So I have a remainder of 3 over 4, or 6.75, because 3/4 is 75 out of 100, or is 3/4 25, 25, 25, right? Because 4/4 is 1 whole. Okay, so now let's do one more scenario. I'm pretty sure you guys are experts now at this by now, but I just want to share one more scenario just to really drive home the idea of how fast and efficient the Dutch algorithm really is. Okay, so let's do the same question. 27 divided by 4. Now, let's say I'm really good at multiplication, okay, guys? Let's say I'm just like a wizard at multiplication, but I'm not the strongest at division, but I am good at multiplication. So I know 4 times 4, 4, 8, 12, 16 is 16. Let's say I even know what 4, I know that 4 times 5 is 20. I'm going to put that right there. 4 times 5 is 20. Keep track of my multiplication, do that. And I know that 27 minus 20 is 7. Super duper easy. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that dot over there. 27 minus 7 is 7, right? So now I know that 4 times 2 is 8, so that's going to be too much. But I do know that 4 can go into 7 ones. So what I do is that 7 minus 4, 3. And I got to keep track of my multiplications over here because I forgot. So I have 6 in total. So same exact method, just a faster way of doing it because I'm good at multiplications. And you can see 6 3/4. 6 3/4, or 6.75 is the remainder. So a lot more efficient, faster, easier way of doing division, which is called the Dutch algorithm. It's a lifesaver on a high stake exam or test. Highly recommend that you practice this and stick with this because this is going to make your life a million times easier. Thanks for watching, and if this video helped you, like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be making more content related to math and other educational videos.